What's up, you guys?
What's up, you guys?
So, you guys know why we're here. You can tell by the title. This is going to be a Q&A based on our video titled We Broke Up that we posted a few weeks ago. I would like to encourage all of you to watch that video in its entirety or this video will not make sense. We got a lot of comments that just were off the walls, if you will. Like, they made no sense to us whatsoever because people were only reading the title and not actually watching the video. So if you're gonna watch
whole video,
please watch the first video in its entirety before watching this video. But this is just going to be a Q&A. I asked you guys questions on Instagram. It's also just going to be a laid back, very honest conversation about our relationship.
Yep.
So let's just jump into this. No. Oh, no,
I'm assuming that some of these questions are from people that actually watched the whole first video.
You're assuming incorrectly.
Oh no, okay.
Yeah, and I think that happens a lot where people just read the title and they storm to the comment section and they say a bunch of crazy things and like, it was a lot. It was a lot. So how are we feeling, just before we answer any questions, how are we feeling about that video?
I don't know. I mean, I don't watch the videos a lot.
Neither do I.
I might read some comments around them, but I try to just stay disconnected from it.
Yep.
To be to be really transparent. So I don't know. It was a tough video to film. I think, looking back on it, I think that we powered through it.
Yeah.
But it's a tough subject. I mean,
it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard to film because we were also emotional when we filmed that video.
And you can tell we're both trying to not be. So it's like we're trying to articulate and be adults, but at the same time, you really just want to be like, Wah!
Yeah, it was a hard time. It was a really hard time.
Okay.
I also want to explain some timelines before we start. I'm so sorry. I know this is like a long intro.
Yeah.
We did not get engaged 4 months ago. We got engaged September 15th, 2020. We didn't announce that publicly for months later.
Okay.
Months and months.
Is there like a confliction in the timeline here?
There is, because people were like, you got engaged 4 months ago. Seems sus. But like, we didn't. We got engaged and then announced it like a long time after that.
Yeah. There was a delay because I remember we did the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. There was a long delay.
Yeah.
And you know, we are real people. This is our real lives. This is not for YouTube. Like, our relationship is not for YouTube. But we did want to share our struggle because a lot of you guys said that you were going through the same thing.
We're real people. We are. We are, in fact, real people.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Question number 1.
Question 1.
Was the thought to ever stay together for unhealthy reasons?
Is this like question for me?
I don't know. It was just a question.
Who responds first? I don't think so. Not on my side. No.
I don't think so either. Like we're not codependent or anything.
I guess, read the question again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was the thought to ever stay together for unhealthy reasons?
No.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. Not on my side. Mm-mm.
Okay. Do you feel pressure to stay together after posting the breakup video?
No.
That's a good question, I guess.
It's a good question, but no.
No. Even though a lot of people did say, like, you need Jesus.
There was some Jesus in the comments. Jesus was going to save us.
I mean, sure. Okay.
Hey, if that's your, hey, if that's your thing, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, like, it takes work to keep a relationship alive and going and happy and healthy, and it's not easy. A relationship with 2 kids, 2 jobs, and like, it's not easy, and we really struggled.
It isn't. I think that is probably more or less what the original video is about, and answering these questions is, I mean, life for us was very basic when we first got together. We didn't have dishes, we didn't have anything. We just had a job and we could pay our bills, and we were like, okay, this is good enough.
Yeah.
And we had each other. We had Micah, she was small. I mean, life was very, very condensed. We lived in a little vacuum. And as we got more busy, more successful, another baby, and then we have dogs, and then you just don't ever, there's no.
Hey, the dogs are also babies. Rude.
Our 4 children. There's just, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I didn't have a blueprint. I don't think you did either. Nobody sits you down and says, all right, this is how you attack these issues.
Yeah.
We did the best we could, and it just wasn't good enough. Nobody tells you what to do. I mean, you just get busy and then you forget.
True.
Okay, go.
What steps are you taking to rekindle your relationship?
You can answer that.
I don't know why I did that. You know, date nights, communication, being able to go to the other one and say, I'm upset about this today, that's huge for us.
Yeah.
Because what would happen is like, I'm too tired to argue. I'm too tired to fight. I'm too tired to tell you what's bothering me. And then I don't say it, and then it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. I think maybe the same for you.
Same thing.
So being able to go to him and be like, I feel like this today, or what you said upset me, or whatever. I think that's been huge.
Communication is a big word, and it seems really easy to talk about as a topic. It is a lot more layered, I think, because we're like, oh yeah, we do a good job of communicating. No. Absolutely not. No. And I think that we're still not great at it. We're trying to get better.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. I mean, what are you doing? Just putting more effort into it. And sometimes it is having a little bit of dialogue. I'm trying to help more. I'm trying to not be a third child, which I know you appreciate.
So much. You have no idea how sexy it is when you're holding a sponge.
I'm trying to do the bare minimum at least to give you some help. Which I know that you just kind of fall in. I mean, you kind of fall into like the traps of this is what we're doing. This is what this person's role is. And then before you realize it, you've been doing that for a long time, and somebody actually resents somebody for not doing the dishes.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I want you to want to do the dishes. The breakup. Why would I want
to do dishes? Yeah. No, I get it, 100%. So I mean, things like that. You know, I think small things that add up over time with repetition. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know what else people want you to say. Like, what are you doing? I mean, it's simple stuff. It's really basic stuff.
It's just the things that not just Reese forgot to do, the things I forgot to do too. Like setting date nights, getting a sitter, going out, making the effort to do that. And that was something that we didn't do.
Not at all.
How are you both independently coping? I guess I'll start with me. Here's what happened. We broke up. We separated. Now we are together. And I think I'm doing so much better today than I was a month ago, or 2 months ago, 4 months ago. I'm doing so much better today. That's not to say that we don't have hard days.
No, there's some hard days.
There's still some hard days.
It's got to be okay to have hard days. And it's got to be okay for the other person to be upset. And sometimes it just has to be about how they're feeling, and you just have to listen to that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to reference our last discussion because I had to do a really good job of focusing on this is how you're feeling. It's got nothing to do with me. I don't need to bring my shit into this. I just need you to be upset for a minute. It's okay. Because the sun will come up tomorrow and everything will be okay.
I think like if one of us upsets the other and we're like, what you did upset me, we have a tendency to be defensive.
I think people do that in general.
Right.
And I think the more comfortable you get with people, sometimes you become more defensive sometimes. I think you I don't know.
It's a natural thing to want to defend, like, no, you're wrong. But we have to understand with each other, our feelings are valid. His feelings are valid, my feelings are valid. And sometimes we just need to express that those feelings are there. Whether or not you meant to do that, your intention was good, whatever, that doesn't matter. I mean, it matters. We shouldn't brush off our feelings because the other person didn't mean to do that, if that makes sense.
Correct, it's valid.
You can't apologize like this. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry that you misunderstood me.
There seems to be a disconnect.
No, to genuinely care how the other one is feeling matters. And I think we both really do.
Yeah, so. And sometimes what's tough is some things may seem repetitive. Acknowledging that you made a mistake and apologizing for it, or mistakes in my case, and then apologizing for it. It's sometimes you have to have that conversation more than once. You can't just say you're sorry and we're just closing the chapter on that, because sometimes you're reliving those little arguments where you may be like, didn't I already say I was sorry for this? Sometimes you just got to say it again. Yeah. Just say, hey, look, I'm aware those were mistakes. I need you to understand that I am as sorry about it then as I am now. And if you need to have this conversation a month down the road, I will then acknowledge the same mistakes and tell you that I am sorry, because sometimes people need to hear that. They need to hear that I didn't just say I'm sorry to service you up, to shut you up. I am still very sorry about those mistakes. I apologize. I am aware. I can acknowledge them. It was not right. Does that make sense?
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes too. and you know, we're working out those things together. It's not always easy to be like, these are the mistakes I've made in the relationship, I own them, I take responsibility for them. It's not easy to say that, and you know, but it matters to the other person.
It does.
It's so important that you acknowledge, that I acknowledge my mistakes, because I was not the perfect girlfriend and you were not the perfect boyfriend, and we became roommates almost, and that was really hard. It's like, how was your day? Great, I worked 12 hours today, like,
yeah.
just eat some food and go to sleep. That's not like us putting work into our relationship. So
I mean, you're kind of going through the motions, you know what I mean? But you get really comfortable when you go through the emotions, like I said. And the tough thing is we all love to be right, and we all are just a little bit better than that other person. Yeah.
We love to be right.
And
Riley is so much like him. Riley's like, I'm always correct.
It's always correct.
Always correct.
It's tough because one person's mistakes and bullshit is not better than another person's mistakes and bullshit. They're both equally messed up, and you just have to acknowledge that. And you just have to say, all right, I will work on trying to be better.
Were you guys struggling in your relationship when you got engaged? It was last September.
Yes. I won't say openly struggling though. Is that right?
We weren't communicating at all. And yeah, it kind of felt like a Band-Aid.
Yeah, we'll say that.
But I love you and was excited. That wasn't a lie. I know that Reese is my person and I want to be with Reese. So the engagement was not a lie, but we never worked on our relationship to make it what it can be and what it's becoming.
Correct. I think it's a good explanation. Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer. Is the breakup helping you guys mentally? Are you getting closer?
Yes.
Yes.
Answer to that is yes.
Do you guys plan on staying broken up for good? We have tons of questions like that. When we filmed the We Broke Up video, we specifically said in that video that Reese is back home and we are working things out and we are working on our relationship. We said that in that video.
And it's hard because people see the videos and they can't put together timeline and context.
Yeah.
And we're leaving some of those details out because it's none of your business. I mean, so, you know, I know people are maybe a little fuzzy on how long, you know, we weren't living together, how long we were working on that, how long we were not in a good space, and, you know, how long it took us to get to the point where we were okay to film that video.
We left that out.
We left that out because it's none of your business. I mean, we're happy to share this with you, but some of those details I know are a little fuzzy, but they're fuzzy on purpose.
I think another thing to note here is that yes, I'm very transparent, but I also have boundaries and I'm allowed to have those boundaries even though I create content. And I would just love...
What about my boundaries?
And you too. You don't have to film anything you don't want to, or say anything you don't want to. And I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you filming with me. And I know they love you. There's some hardcore Reese fans. The Reese stans are real. It's a thing.
It's tough
to balance out transparency with privacy.
It's tough. I mean, because I've always filmed the fun videos with you, and I've never had to film any serious videos. And knowing that it's a large platform and having to have an open discussion, because then, you know, it's like we filmed it and I was like trying to be okay with that video and I knew it was important to do. And then afterwards, like I said, I didn't really watch it, but I'm like, a lot of people probably watched that video. And I was like, ugh.
Then you start to feel...
Then you're like, people I know probably watched that video, and you're like, all right, so let me think about how I did in that video, you know what I mean? So you overthink it a little bit, but it's absolutely correct. I mean, you have to have boundaries, and that's super important for both of us, you know, so.
I film the things that I film so other people feel less alone, but that doesn't mean that it's okay to harass me, attack me, say horrible things to me, spam my comments, spam my DMs, and just be nasty, you know?
I think it's important to film these videos specifically because people do get the highlight reel.
Yes, the social media highlight reel is crazy. And I never want you guys to look at my life and think that it's perfect, or because I have some material possessions that life is so great. That's just not what it is. We are real people with real struggles and emotions and lives, and I don't think enough content creators share that side of it. And that's what I always hope to bring on this platform, my raw authenticity and vulnerability and so many things, while keeping some things private that I choose to, and that's okay too.
Yep.
Were the girls affected by your breakup?
Without asking them directly, it's hard to know, but I don't think so.
So as we said in the first video, we tried to keep their lives as normal as possible. We had dinner together regularly. Some days Reese would come here after work, and then when they went to bed, a couple hours later, Reese would leave.
Yeah.
That way he was tucking them in. I don't think they noticed
I don't
much.
think they noticed much, really. I mean, I think that
was important for us.
Yeah. And then on the weekends, I would come over, and do the yard and do a few things. So we did a really good job, I think, of keeping them, I won't say in the dark, but keeping them in a good space, keeping them in some sort of normalcy.
They're baby. I mean, they're babies. They're young. So we didn't want to have life-changing conversations with them when we're not sure of which direction we're going to go.
I think that they did recognize a few times, though, because of where we're at. And then, I would be over or having dinner, and then we would have to, we started a conversation that we knew was going to happen. And it was not a bad conversation. It was just, we were going to have to talk through some things because it's time for round 10 today. You know what I mean? We're going to have to rehash some stuff, and we would have to send them upstairs. And I think that was happening more often. And we were like, we're talking.
Mommy and Daddy need to talk.
Yeah. We need you to go play in your room. And I think that was, they probably realized that was happening a little bit more often, but we didn't want to have those conversations in front of them.
Yeah.
I think it's easier when they're small too. If they would have been older, there'd have been no way we'd have had to bring it up. We'd
have that conversation with them. But even if we decide tomorrow, you know what, this isn't going to work out, we're going to co-parent and we're going to do a lot of things together.
Yeah.
I want to be with you. But if that doesn't happen, then I want to be the world's best co-parents. With having respect for your life and mine, and having respect for our babies and normalcy. And
that's easy to,
Oh, I wanted to bring up, I'm sorry to cut you off. Someone said to me, how dare you want to have dinner together as a family when Reese could meet some girl and then she's not going to like that? So that scenario is the weirdest thing I've ever heard, because now we're talking about an imaginary person that doesn't exist and how their feelings matter more than our children's. Yeah. So that was just really weird that tons of people said that to us. What about your future relationships? We're just trying to get through the day.
We're talking about people that don't even exist. Yeah.
We're talking about made up scenarios other people don't even exist in.
I think maybe what people are talking about too is that, put it this way, when you talk about being great co-parenting and navigating the waters, so to speak, if we didn't stay together, this is what we want. We're not saying it would be easy. We recognize that there would be some hurdles that we would have to get past. That absolutely, you may have
other people's feelings.
Yeah, you may have to get into those situations where look, this person doesn't like this. Let's find a way to have a conversation. But we're not saying it would be easy. We recognize that there would be struggles. There would be probably some challenges, but it doesn't change. That's not the fact that that's what we want to do, right?
Us dating other people during a separation was not happening, nor was that even a want.
Oh no.
I didn't want that. He didn't want that. We were hurting. We were in pain.
Yeah.
And neither one of us sought out another person to date. We're trying to raise our kids and be mentally okay and heal this, and our focus was not on another person.
Yeah, I guess maybe people miss that point or something. Yeah.
Our focus was here.
Yeah.
Any chance of getting back together? There's hundreds of those questions.
Do you want to get back together with me?
How's your sense of humor these days? Because if we can't laugh through the trauma, I'm not interested. What happened to your engagement ring?
What happened to your engagement ring?
Do we want to tell the story of the engagement ring?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, go ahead.
Reese flushed it down the toilet.
Boom!
But our upstairs toilet, you have to hold it down for a few seconds, and he was just mad, flushed it down the toilet because I said some sideways crazy shit, because that's what I'm good for, and it didn't flush. So an hour goes by, and I go in there and I saw it. It was saved. Yeah, saved it.
Took a little toilet bath.
Toilet bath.
Hey, no dishes were broken during this breakup.
No dishes. Just a ring almost was flushed down the toilet. Did the breakup halt the wedding plans?
What wedding plans?
So this is how far we got with the wedding plans. We started to make a guest list. I thought it was going to be 12 people.
Jessica wanted to go to the steak pit.
I wanted a small, intimate wedding. And Reese's family is huge, and we can't not invite some of his family members because, that's not right. He's got 100 people on his guest list by himself, and the 12 people that I wanted to invite. So 112 people, and I got overwhelmed with it all, and then I couldn't find the right venue and no one that I felt comfortable with to help me, and I stopped doing it all. I felt really overwhelmed. and then bitter that I was doing it alone.
Yeah, we're busy people. I mean, so we almost need a father of the bride. We need a Franck. We need somebody to help plan the wedding. And then, because I think if we did that, we'd have it on the schedule. Like this weekend, we have to sit down and talk to Franck, this person that we're just making up now, for an hour or two and tell them what we're looking for and then let them go piece it together, right?
If his name's not Franck, I don't want it. But are we still going to get married?
You're still wearing a ring, aren't you?
It has skulls on it. What am I going to do, not wear it?
Still cool.
I just don't want to put that pressure on us right now.
Yeah.
And I
do we still talk about it? Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody said no.
Yep. The answer is not no. So not no.
Just maybe not now.
And again, I don't want to add any extra pressure onto an already difficult situation sometimes.
Yeah, we don't want to make the breakup video, then talk about the wedding plans like 3 weeks later.
My YouTube posting schedule does not matter in this scenario. I just don't want to add stress to our relationship. How are you and Reese doing mentally, emotionally, and physically? Physically, I eat like a raccoon that goes through a dumpster. Mentally, I'm doing better.
Yeah, I'll say
getting better.
Much improved on my side.
Yeah.
Rough.
Physically, hold on. Physically, there's no contest.
Oh.
The gun show.
No, physically, physically.
Is that what they meant?
Maybe. I don't know.
No, but I can't take y'all anywhere. You better calm down.
Much better mentally space for me. I think. Do you agree?
Yeah.
For you? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is mentally.
Physically, mentally, emotionally, physically.
Emotionally, yes, but I kind of have the emotions of a stone.
Sometimes. He's a big teddy bear.
Doing a little better. So yeah, we're good there.
Yeah.
Check. Yeah.
What was the most eye-opening conversation for each of you?
Oh, that's a good one. Eye-opening.
Yeah.
I won't say eye-opening. I'll say most eye-opening statement that you made.
Is it written on the ceiling?
It's not written on the ceiling. I'm trying to think how I want to craft this. Remember, I used to look at the ceiling a lot when I talk in the videos. I guess I'll just come out with it. When we were fighting initially, when it kind of happened. The breakup, and you just said that you're miserable. You've been miserable. I was just like, she's really serious about being miserable. Like, this isn't like, I'm upset, so I'm saying it like you. So I was like, wow, I really kind of fucked up. I've gone for a significant amount of time and not recognized that you were not good. So that was the most eye-opening for me.
I think we've had several instances in the past 7 years where one or the other was not happy. And
that happens.
I didn't recognize it when you were really miserable a few years back. And that was, we had a colicky cry baby. Riley screamed all day long. I couldn't calm her down. It was super stressful. I was going through a lot because my PTSD kind of resurfaced once I got pregnant because I didn't know how to have a baby outside of prison or what that looked like. I was reliving the trauma of childbirth from Micah. It was a really hard time, and I didn't communicate that at all with Reese. Reese didn't even know my birth story with Micah until I filmed it for YouTube. I just did not talk about it with anyone because I didn't want anyone to worry. And I think we need to stop doing that. Stop hiding that you need help just because you don't want other people to worry. I wish that I reached out sooner and told someone I am struggling with postpartum depression. I don't know how to handle the trauma of what I went through with Micah. Riley won't settle down. I need help. And I was just incapable of asking for help because I didn't want to seem like a failure as a mother. But postpartum depression and PTSD does not make you a failure. A colicky baby does not make you a failure.
And that comes off to me in that situation that you were just incredibly unhappy. And I was failing because I couldn't fix any of it. And so I started to feel like I was failing as well. And it was just,
steamrolled.
Yeah. So, it happens, absolutely. I think that, there's been a lot of eye-opening conversations, I think. But you have to have those. It's part of that old communication again. So I don't know why I air quoted communication, but
it's not fake communication.
It's not fake communication. Transparent communication. And to be able to have that without being emotionally invested, that's definitely challenging. Especially, I think it's more challenging the more history you have and the longer you've been with somebody because you're emotionally invested in that relationship. And sometimes having transparent conversations become difficult because you cannot emotionally detach that from yourself. For me, I take accountability, and I think because I'm slightly a narcissist, and I think everything's about me. So if you're unhappy or having a bad day, I think it's because of something I've done. And sometimes I don't realize that it's just maybe because you're unhappy and you're having a bad day.
I think a lot of people have narcissistic tendencies. I do not think that you're a narcissist at all.
So
you don't gaslight me. There's not abuse in this relationship. That's not what it is. For you to say that like you think everything's about you, I just think you take things really personally. That does not make you narcissistic. And you know, I have a degree in that. So he's not narcissistic. That is something I could never work through. I could not work through narcissistic abuse, and that's not what this is. Thank God. But I
only took 7 years to figure it out.
But to just add on to what you were saying, if you say that you're unhappy, I would take that personally too. So it's hard to differentiate between mental health issues like depression and PTSD. That is not his fault. It's not your fault that I'm unhappy, but our relationship needed work at the same time. So how do you separate those two, right?
Correct.
So those are hard conversations to have.
They stack up a little bit, yep.
And I'm very good at white knuckling things, and to the point where I don't even take my medicine every day. I'm prescribed cannabis now, and you know, I don't even use it as much as I should because I'm so used to white knuckling my insomnia and PTSD and depression that it's just a common practice of mine. People think I'm like Snoop Dogg, I'm not. Same with communication, or if something's bothering me, I kind of shut down instead of being like, hey bro, you upset me with that one. You know,
and sometimes, you know, for me, what was bad is Jessica felt shut out because I would shut down and not want to talk about it. And she thought it's the silent treatment. And a little bit of it is, but for me, I know it's because I am not ready to discuss this because I am going to say things I don't mean. I am going to get out of hand with this conversation. I should have said, I just need a little bit of time and then we can talk about this rather than just
going to bed mad.
You know, because I know how I am, and I don't want to be in that situation where I say something I don't mean, or I'm unprepared to have that conversation because, you know, you do those things. And have you ever had that fight or that conversation, and then like the next day you're like, I really wish I'd have sat on that for about a day before I had that conversation. It would have gone a lot differently. Like, I mean, I think that we all have that moment.
A lot of times, like if we are arguing and he just wants to go to sleep, I don't handle that well. I don't want to go to bed mad because I have insomnia. I'll lay there and cry. And he'll lay there and snore, and that makes me crazy.
And it makes her more upset at me.
I hate the silent treatment because if I go to bed mad, I'm gonna wake up mad, and then my day is ruined. Like I'd rather.
It would have just been easier for us to say, let's just stop this conversation. We're not upset. We're gonna go to sleep, and tomorrow we can have this. We can continue this if we want to. If we don't, that's fine.
I think that you recognize that it's very unfair to me to have to overthink if we're okay or not.
Yeah.
And just shutting down and saying nothing to me makes me overthink it. Like, are we okay? What's going on? Is he gonna come home and pack his bags? Do I need to leave? Like, I start to go crazy and overthink it. And that's because we've not communicated that it's okay. We need to talk about this in the morning so that we don't say things we don't mean.
Yeah.
So
because I'm the king of being angry, and then that's part of, I guess, the military and PTSD. I go from 0 to 100. I don't take a few steps in between. Before you know it, I am just going to say some shit that I 100% don't mean just to win an argument. And then I'm going to regret it later. And then when I'm sending that, like, I'm sorry text because I don't want to do it in person.
Fuck that text.
And then Jessica's going to be like, fuck that text. He didn't say this in person. And then it just becomes another argument.
Then he didn't talk to me all day because he didn't know if he should send that text or not. And I'm like, this motherfucker. So
there you go.
My temper goes from 0 to prison real fast. So it's been interesting to watch us curb that and like keep that monster in its cage because we don't scream at each other. We don't break things. I used to punch holes in the wall. There's no holes in the walls. We're trying to manage our emotions in a healthy adult way. We're old now. So we're trying to do that in a healthy way.
And it's tough to have a conversation or have an argument. I won't say, I guess an argument, because you can have an argument, put it that way. Just like all emails don't require a response at work, you don't have to win all arguments. It's okay for nobody to win.
Progress here. This is not about a winner and a loser.
Correct.
Put your ego aside for 1 second and look at it from a whole point of view.
If you're not first, you're last.
No. That's toxic male energy. Get out.
Okay.
No, but like he's made tremendous progress, and I think I have too. I have not punched him one time. He's fine.
All the bruises are down here. Can be covered up.
I've not hit him once. Out of the two of us,
Today.
I would be the violent one.
Probably. Yeah.
I've never hit Reese. Don't get comfortable though.
You're slipping.
Do you feel that you've outgrown each other in a sense?
No.
Nope.
I guess outgrown how? I guess I need some. It's kind of open-ended. Like,
It is outgrown each other. You know, like we still have goals and dreams that we want to accomplish together.
yeah. I still feel individually that Jessica challenges me more than anybody else I've had a relationship with.
You've never dated anyone that challenges you with communication as a person in your career.
Correct. I've never had anybody that's challenged me in a way where I have to recognize that if I want to be a better person, it means I have to work on things like communication. I have to sacrifice a few things. I mean, because I've just never given a shit about anybody. I mean, it was always just kind of like, it wasn't challenge. It didn't challenge me because I just wasn't invested in it. So no, outgrowing each other, no, absolutely not.
Love you.
I love you too.
Are you still adopting Micah? They really want that
Really
answer.
want that question
They really
answered,
do.
don't they? We were going to do that when we got married, weren't we? Can you do that without getting married?
I don't think so. We don't know as far as the law goes, but if we decide to get married, then yes.
Yeah, yes, why not? Micah,
That's his baby.
Yes. As far as everybody else is concerned and Micah and I are concerned, that's what it is. She just doesn't have my last name, and I guess in the eyes of the law, what was it? Didn't they, like at school, they gave me some crap one time, didn't they?
Yeah, the school didn't want to let Reese pick up Micah, even though listed on the school papers, still the school
They
stuff.
kind of gave me the like, we know you're not the father, like because
We know that you're a white.
Yeah,
Micah's
because we're not married, you know what I mean, and Micah doesn't have my last name, and they're like, they kind of treat me like you're the boyfriend, and it's like, no.
He is on all her documentation for school, emergency contact, pickup, phone number, everything, and they treated him like crap when he went to pick her up one time, and I called up there mad. Mad, like don't you dare treat him like that.
They definitely got a little sideways about it.
I've always put on Micah's school paperwork, father, phone number, like who cares that she has a different last name?
So, okay.
So I think that's good. I think that's enough questions. I think we've answered a lot of stuff, talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think we've been transparent, as transparent as we can be or want to be.
Right.
Yeah.
We are together. We are working it out. I am wearing my engagement ring because it has skulls on it, and I'm not adding any more pressure to our relationship. I want to wear it, and it makes me happy, and that's just what it is. Does that mean that we're planning a wedding right now? No, because it's just a lot, and yeah, that's just added pressure.
Absolutely. I think that if we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we'll just punt it down the road a little bit further.
Right. You know, it's been 7 years. That wedding is not going anywhere.
What are we trying to accomplish at this point anyway? Yeah.
We're not going to rush it to make everyone else around us happy. You know, and that's something that we talked about from the beginning, that marriage wasn't important to us at all.
I really don't think it changes anything for us. It doesn't. So.
It doesn't change our commitment level. It doesn't change our happiness. I don't believe that I need to get married to prove my commitment level in this relationship.
Yeah.
And we're just very like go against the grain couple anyway. So you're never gonna get a traditional anything out of me or Reese. We make our own rules in our relationship.
Yeah.
And we're happy, and I would encourage more of you to do the same. Don't let other people pressure you to get married.
Other people's expectations of what a good relationship looks like.
Yeah, don't let other people project their insecurities, their expectations onto you.
And it's okay to have problems. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that was one of the biggest things for us is we didn't want to admit that we have problems. I mean, It's okay. Everybody's got problems.
Life is too short to not write your own rules, especially when it comes to relationships. So I'd even make a part 3 to this video if you guys want that. I love you guys, and please know that we're just human beings, and life's not perfect, and relationships take a lot of effort.
We are just people too.
Relationships take a lot of work and effort and time, and it's okay to walk away and co-parent if that is what makes you happy. I don't think that divorce or a breakup is the end of the world at all. Sometimes that can be the best decision that you make for you. And you have to be willing, if you want to stay with somebody, to accept that it's gonna take a little bit of work sometimes. It just is. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.